Righty chaps, welcome back. We are working on the EJ today. It's been a while, it's been sitting in the corner, it's been neglected. It's not going to happen anymore. I'm dedicating, if I can ever use my English properly, my Saturdays to doing this car. Needs to happen, it's a good car. What we're going to tackle in today's episode is, I think we're going to try and bare metal this whole side, because it's sort of half bare metaled and sort of unfinished. So we're going to finish up, bare metal the whole side, and then we're going to etch it, and then we might tackle some small rust, which is sort of the dog leg region. And here, I was going to put a floor pan in, but I think that's going to be a couple of part video, and I think it'll take more than 5 minutes. So today's episode, we're just going to clean up the side and tackle a couple of minor spots of rust on this side. And I want to actually see how bad this sill panel is, because I think the outer sill panel is actually surprisingly solid. I know the inner sill panel there is rusted out, but that's because where this car sat, and it came from Nuripta in Dudley Hines' yard, and it cost me a whopping 600 bucks about 3 years ago. They're still out there. There's only one other EJ in that whole yard that I would have deemed worthy of fixing. I'll actually throw a photo up of it right now. And that one was the contender of this one, so the pair of them were equally savable, but this one was a hell of a lot easier to get out, because they're, if you've ever been to our yard, the cars are just thousands of cars just chucked in one area, and there's sheep tracks running through the whole joint. But this car was the other one, because I picked it because it had a boot floor that wasn't rusted out. But the vinyl floors trap moisture beautifully, and once they've sat in a paddock for 40 years, there's no floors in them, and none of those cars in that whole yard will have a floor pan in them. They're just gone. So yeah, floor pans are gone, but you know, that's fairly common. But the inner sill panel was chewed out from the vinyl floor chewing it out, so I think it's rusted from the inside of the cab to the out, basically, not the other way around. So if I could save a sill panel, I'll be stoked. Obviously it's got a bit of rust where it was hidden behind the dogleg chrome, and there's a couple of good dents there where somebody at some point was acoustically parking, as I like to call it. So yeah, we're going to maybe tidy up this area and bare metal the whole side. So that should be fun. I'll run you through just a bit of a once over in a second after the intro. So as you can tell from previous videos, I actually have sandblasted some stuff. I don't know what was going on here. I think some brake fluid was seeping through. But this whole area down here has been blasted, and it is looking lovely. Yes. Obviously, there's some minor rust here, but if I don't have to replace the sill panel, I don't want to, because nothing quite beats originality. And it's very solid. I mean, it's chewed out here. We're going to fix, hopefully, this today. If not, you know, at least it'll be a good start. The floor pans are gone, but that shouldn't surprise you. I've already done one. I did that about 2 years ago. I'll be very curious to see what's under there. Where the seat bolt's down is in really good shape. If anybody out there is a Holden fan and they happen to have some EJ, EH, and I think HD, HR, and so on seat rails, please sing out, because I don't have any. And obviously this is chewed out, but I think this is chewed out from this side of the car towards the inner. I don't think it's gone the other way. And of course it's hot as buggery today. Yeah. So yeah, pretty normal stuff. It's obviously never been done before. It's just rusted out for the first time. And obviously I spilled Epitech on it at one point. So we're just going to try and tidy it up. It's all wire wheeled and surface rust built up, so we're going to clean it all off and etch prime it and get it all coated nicely. And we've got a little bit of rust here. I wouldn't have said a showstopper, so let's get stuck into it. So after a little bit of bare metaling, we've discovered that the sill panel probably will end up needing to be replaced. It's just not good looking on the inside, but we've also got a giant chunk missing at the bottom of the A-pillar in here, which is not at all surprising. But luckily the section that DJ got me should donate me a section that I can at least work with. I'm just having a bit of a toss up, which bit do I want to tackle today, or do I want to keep cleaning, or what? I'm not sure. I don't even know where the best place to get these sill panels from for EJEHs. You'd think I'd know, but I only know Falcons. I know where to get all the good stuff for Fords, but Holdens I'm just a little bit out of my league. But what I might do is I might dig the lead out here, remove a section of the sill panel that's through here, probably to about here, and rebuild the inner section there. I mean, worst case scenario, I could probably take this, I mean the top's solid from about there. I could probably go get the sheet metal guys to fold me up a new sill panel. It probably wouldn't be that bad. I don't really want to lose the end of it either, because that's the very edge of the sill panel. I don't know, it's a bit of a, just got to figure it out as we go. This is new, well, it's not really new rust. I've done this stuff before, but believe it or not, this would be not the first EJEH I've done, but the rustiest one I've ever done. But it's been a while since I've done one, so luckily we get to trial on mine. So that all came out of that hole. It was about that deep in dirt and mud and rust basically. But it's interesting, when they fill up with dirt, they don't actually rust. They rust right at the top of where the dirt and mud is. They don't rust at the bottom, which is an interesting thing I've noticed on Fords as well. So despite it looking pretty good, we're probably going to replace it. So I don't really know where I'm going to cut you to next, but I might hack open this cream coloured donor section, because at least that has the inner piece that I can probably use to rebuild and put into this car. So what I might do is I might whittle that down with the oxy into something that I can use and get that piece out of there. So I'll catch up in a second. When you get shed visits from your beautiful daughter. What are you doing? Hello. Her name is Abigail. Kisses. Where's Mum? Where's Mum gone? I just had to put this in there, it's quite cute. Give you chaps fair warning, today's episode is going to be all over the shop like a mad woman's breakfast. Mainly because it's my car and I got distractions, and if you just saw then, you just saw my lovely daughter. Best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah, so obviously Saturdays are the day I've decided to do this car. So it's going to obviously take quite a while. So I actually remembered, I was like, I've got to stop getting distracted on things, because I got momentarily distracted on that. I stopped myself going, no, what I need to do is stick to the first task that I said I was going to do, which was bare metal the side. I am running out of a bit of time, so I'm going to stick to removing the surface rust from everywhere that was bare metal for now. And then I'm going to, well, in a second, I'm just going to bare metal this quarter panel again and get it all spiffy, and then I'm going to black etch everything I can and then leave it for a week, and then we'll come back to it next week and figure out where we got to and see if I can get some parts in, because I was thinking about I could make this section, but I realised that it might be quicker and easier just to get a rare spares piece and modify it, rather than trying to hand shape all that stuff, which does take a long time, and I do want to get done, and I need to research sill panels, because I'll probably tackle that very shortly. I do know that there is a chap on one of the EJEH groups who makes an inner sill panel for in there, so I'll have to research that a bit more. I suspect that I will be putting most of this bottom pillar in, probably rework it a little bit. As you can see that most of this is still here. This is at least something to work from. I can copy this and maybe make it a bit better. So I know that I can buy, like I just said, this section here, and I think it's probably about that long too. So it's got all this. Somebody just about destroyed that when they removed the Y-frames from whatever car when they took this EH apart. So that's actually supposed to be coming out the other way, but it's just something to work from, and at least it gives us the bottom of the inner pillar and the bottom of the firewall and the majority of this. But we're talking, she's a little bit rusty, so I'll have to do some research into this. This is the first time I really looked at this car in a while, so I do want to do some more videos on this and get one happening every Saturday probably. So next in a minute we're just going to do a time lapse of that quarter panel. We're going to etch it, and then I'll have to call it that for a day because I do have limited time. So at least it's something, eh? Unfortunately, chaps, that's pretty much where I have to end today's video. I mean, we made progress. It's still something. I was just thinking to myself as I was standing here looking at this thing going, you know, the best way to get motivation for a project, and it does bum everybody out periodically, is my suggestion: if you're running out of motivation, clean your car, clean your project. Pull it out of where it is, empty it out, clean it out. If it's a car and it's drivable, wash it. Give it a clean. You'll soon realise how much you love it. That's my suggestion to anyone who is lacking a bit of motivation, needs a bit of the proverbial kick in the pants. Just clean it. That's what I did the other day. This was buried in the corner. I was like, I'm sick of seeing that in the corner. Dug it out, cleaned it out, unburied it, and I decided, yes, I am going to do something with this car. I'm sick of seeing it sit there. I want this thing to be finished. Yeah, so that's my suggestion. Just clean it. So we've established by today that I need to replace a good chunk of in there, probably the outer seal panel, the dog leg, a good chunk of the wheel arch where the dents are, should I say. I've got to do the rear quarter section as it's rusty and dented. I've got to put a beaver panel on it. You know, we've got a little bit of rust in the bottom of the A-pillar here. Obviously we've got a massive job on the plenum chamber. I haven't worked up the courage to do that yet. Obviously a little bit through here. We've got the floor pans. At least we don't have to do the boot floor. That's something, eh? And I have another EJ roof so I can do the front top lip of the windscreen. But realistically though, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. You might go, oh my god, it's really bad, but it's not. It really isn't. Yeah, what I was gonna do is, if the seal panel wasn't bad and where there was pinholes, a trick you can do, and it saves having to repair the whole thing, is you just stab a hole where the rust is, and then you just die grind out the rust and you just weld it straight back up. And that's a very quick way of solving pinholes. And you can do it to floor pans and stuff like that if it's just a little bit rusty, if you don't feel like replacing the whole thing. I mean, you know, always get rid of all the rust, but if you didn't want to do it all, you can do that and it works just as well. So it's a bit of an odd episode today, but at least it actually starting to look okay. And despite that, that is very, very solid. despite how shonky that might actually look. It really isn't. It hasn't moved 1 inch. So I'm really happy about that. But one day I will get a rotisserie and we'll be able to do this stuff way better. So I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this special bonus episode where it's EJ related, and you will probably get this every Saturday, I'm thinking. So thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more.